I finished reading Your 2OP, and this one is a modern esports danmei. And it was a nice, fun read. No angst, just a gamer slash streamer who is oblivious to the fact that his new friend likes him. The main character is Lingmeng, who is a popular player on the game Galaxy Legends. And while he is a decent player, he is far more famous for the send-offs he would give his opponents at the end of a match. He used to have a bunch of antis, but later gained a bunch of fans who call him Lemon Daddy since his handle is Lemon. At the start of the story, he gets matched with a player named Mangosteen, who everyone refers to as Man God. He's a really good player in the God tier of the game, and he's also a popular streamer. God tier is for the top 500 players, and Diamond tier is right below that. Mangosteen is in the top 250 players, while Lingmeng is a top player in the Diamond tier and pretty much gets booted out of God tier whenever he manages to land there. He ends up losing to Mangosteen, and for his send off, he says, "You're too OP." And it seems he forgot that Mangosteen is also a streamer, so everyone sees his cutesy remark, and he ends up going viral for it and is constantly spammed with the same comment over and over again on all of his socials and whenever he leaves a comment on a message board or anything like that. So Ling Meng wants revenge on Mangosteen. He starts by joining the site that Mangosteen streams on and is constantly analyzing his gameplay and watching the videos over and over again. And since he's constantly watching the videos and live streams, he knows exactly what Mangosteen sounds like, but not what he looks like since he never turns on his camera. And when Lingmon runs into someone on campus at his university that sounds very familiar, he is convinced that Mangosteen is a student at the same university as him. He uses what he learned from the videos to work on his own gameplay and work his way up into God tier, hoping that he will get matched with Mangosteen again. And he does manage to do it, and he decides to have a bet with Mangosteen. If Lingmeng wins, then Mangosteen has to live stream himself going to the university pharmacy and buying pads. But if Mangosteen wins, then Lingmeng has to go out to buy condoms. Even though Lingmeng's playing has improved a lot and it was a very close game, he does end up losing. So he ends up trying again by having a Galaxy Legends tournament solely for all of the players on campus. He ends up playing with a guy who uses the handle Apple. Lingmeng ends up winning, and Apple goes to his dorm to collect his second place prize. And it is revealed that Apple is actually Mangosteen. And we as readers also end up learning that Lingmeng and Mangosteen had played once before a long time ago when Mangosteen first started playing. And Lingmeng is the reason why Mangosteen worked so hard at his skills for him to play the way that he does now. Mangosteen is also able to get Lingmeng to add him as a friend in the game. So the next time Mangosteen is live streaming, Lingmeng just happens to log in and everyone on the stream can see that they are now friends in game. They end up playing a match with a third person on their team, but they both basically ignore the third person for a good part of it, and everyone in the chat just considers him a third wheel. They do end up winning their match, but Mangosteen messes up one of Lingmeng's legendary send-offs. And because he does this, Lingmeng ends up deciding that he's going to become a live streamer too, and he's going to be a better one than Mangosteen. Also, this is when the Mango Lemonade ship has been officially born amongst their fans. And being a man of his word, Lingmeng does start a streaming channel. However, he was having a little trouble getting the channel up in time for the date that he wanted. So he ends up having to ask Mangosteen for a favor, which leads to Mangosteen being a moderator for his channel. And they are just so entertaining. Mangosteen definitely enjoys teasing Lingmeng. Lingmeng's first stream goes very well, but also he ends up becoming a very memeable streamer. He ends up going viral again for all of the memes that comes from his first stream. Even his mom and dad are sending his memes to him. He also gets recognized in person twice. The first time is when a fan sees him in person and asks for a picture with him, and Mangosteen just happens to also be there, so he ends up being in the picture too. And this leads to people questioning who the hot guy with Ling Meng is. The second is when he is out eating with Mangosteen and someone takes a photo of them and posts the picture. This also leads people to questioning if Ling Meng is cheating on Mangosteen, including one of Mangosteen's moderators who turns out to be his mother. At least this is what she thinks until she sees the picture and knows that it's actually Mangosteen. Mangosteen continues to shamelessly flirt with Ling Meng, but Ling Meng just thinks that he's queer baiting for the fans, and even when he's doing it in person, he doesn't take it seriously. Even when Mangosteen is doing things like going out of his way to get breakfast and bringing it to Ling Meng's room on the mornings that he knows Ling Meng doesn't have morning classes. Ling Meng later plays and loses against a pro gamer who is playing on his alt account named Guava. Guava also ends up playing a game with Mangosteen, and he asks both Ling Meng and Mangosteen if they want to go pro. Guava also seems to be very interested in Ling Meng, but of course Ling Meng doesn't realize this. However, Mangosteen and all of their fans do. And the players with fruits for their gaming handles doesn't end there. Ling Meng, whose gaming handle is Lemon, plays with Guava and Mangosteen, who is using his alt account Apple. And the three of them play as a team against three pro gamers from a professional team called Team Fruit. And the players that they play against are Cherry, Pineapple, and Lychee. And the leader of their team, who isn't playing, is called Banana, and he just happens to be a very young gaming prodigy. Two things come from this match. First is that Ling Meng and his team end up winning against the professional gamers, and the apple lemonade ship is also now a thing. So Ling Meng now has four suitors: Mangosteen, the hot guy from the pictures, Guava, and Apple. But it does go down to three because Ling Meng reveals during his live stream that Apple and the hot guy from the photos are the same exact person. But it's also soon revealed that Mangosteen and Apple are the same person. This happens because while Ling Meng is live streaming, he ends up suffering from acute appendicitis. Mangosteen is watching the live stream, so he ends up going to Ling Meng's room to help him. And everyone that is on the live realizes that Apple sounds a lot like Mangosteen. So now they all know that Mangosteen, Apple, and the hot guy from the photos are all the same person. But Mangosteen continues to not have his camera on when he's streaming even after this. They also end up dating soon after this, but only because Mangosteen spells it out for Ling Meng that he's been flirting with him this entire time and that he was being serious about it. Ling Meng isn't sure at first, but knows that he doesn't want to stop hanging out with Mangosteen. Mangosteen has realized from all their conversations and their time together that there are two things that are always on Ling Meng's mind, and that is gaming, specifically Galaxy Legends, and food. So he mentions that if they're dating, he can bring Ling Meng to all the best food places around for whatever he wants to eat, and he can personally help him with his gameplay, to which Ling Meng enthusiastically agrees to. So for the rest of the story, we see them as a couple. There aren't any issues within their relationship, and we see them both getting more involved in the pro gaming side of things, just not as pro gamers. They meet Team Fruit in person and they find out that the Captain Banana is Guava, who clearly likes Ling Meng, but Ling Meng is oblivious to it. There's also another team called Team Veggie, and one of the players on Team Veggie just happens to be Mangosteen's cousin. Ling Meng and Mangosteen also meet each other's families, and Mangosteen, who is a senior, becomes a professional streamer and eventually a commentator after graduating, while Ling Meng continues to stream and eventually becomes an interviewer. I did really enjoy the story. It was a fun read, and it's a nice break from the other stories that I read that have a lot of angst and drama and tension in them.